everybody and welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. I am going to be doing a reading for Christina Whittaker. Again, I hope I'm saying it right. Whittaker. Whittaker. Christina Whittaker from Missouri. And oh my God, that last name. I had of course he was a couple of years senior than me, Roy Whittaker. I knew way back when, high school days. Anyhow, so Christina Whittaker, I'm told, has been missing. They don't know if she's dead, they don't know if she's alive. Somebody sent me that request and saying, can you please look in from Missouri, I believe. So I figured, you know what, let's do a reading right now for her and see what we got, right? All right, let's get started. Let us get started. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Christina Whittaker. Number 11. Okay. Jupiter. Was she born was she a Sagittarius? And this guy. The Leo fella. It's Leo. Was she a November or a December baby like Sagittarius? I feel like she was a Sagittarius. Okay, that's Taurus, Leo. Yeah, Leo. Okay, we'll see how that figures out. We'll see how that plays out, okay? Because let's get started. You know, I have a great need to do her numerology. Let's see. CHRISTINA Christina Whittaker. Oh, it's going to be fun pulling all this. Okay, let's see. Oh no, please don't slide up. No. Die. Of course I'm going to make a mess. Because I'm like that. Right? No, come back here. Alright, let's do this. I didn't want that to be sliding all over the place. Alright. There we go. So much better. Alright. I'm going to do it right now. Sorry y'all, I'm doing this. I should have done it before, but hey, you know me, right? So 3 H 8 9 plus 9 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1. Okay, so CHRISTINA. Okay, let me make sure. C 3 8 Okay, so that's going to be 10, 11, 20, 29, 30, 39, 40, 45, 46, 47, 47, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2. Okay, W is 5, H 8, T, T. Okay, WHITTAKER. Okay, so that's 10, right? 20, 30, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. 43 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay. Alright, I don't know why y'all, I very rarely do this, but 9, wait, 9. Yeah, no. Yeah, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. Hello, good. Did I forget my math? And the 9th house is distant travel, higher education, intellect, distant travel, father. Did she have some issues, mental issues, oh, I don't even know, bipolar type of thing? Did she have that? There is a chance. There is a chance. Give me 1 second, y'all, okay? She's very gullible. She's very gullible. She is easily influenced. She definitely did have some mental issues. I'm going to set this aside. She definitely did have some mental issues, either bipolar or what's the other word? Maybe she was bipolar. What's that? Bipolar. Somebody let me know if she was born, if she's a Sagittarius, or she went missing during the time of Sagittarius, which is November 22nd to December whenever. Of course, I can't think of it right now because I'm drawing a blank, which is really weird because I feel like I'm missing information. I feel like I'm forgetting. I think it's her energy. She might have had a situation where she was not all together and she was having blocks, like spasms of memory. Okay, how do I rephrase that? She was, I feel like she was highly irritated, she was highly upset, and I sense like she remembers and she doesn't. She remembers like temporary lapse of memory. So when we talk about amnesia can last for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, for a year, for a lifetime, however. But for her, it was like, it wasn't so much a question of flashes of memory, but it almost seemed like her mind was in and out. Almost like 1 second she's fine and the next second, boom, she isn't. 1 second she's fine, the next second she isn't. So I want to say bipolar. Somebody let me know. And if she was a Sagittarius, let me see where Leo is, because I see a Leo over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Leo is the 9th house. Ooh, okay. So yes. So there was something affecting her intellect. Her father played either she was close to her. Okay, couple of things. Either she was close to her father, or a non-existent paternal figure in her life. So it's one end or the other, okay? And 11. So what is the 11th house? 9 and 11 is 22. That's okay. Let's get on with this and see what this is all about, right? I am so tired of this. Like, show me something else, universe. Come on. Obviously, the 13, the death card or the devil card is going to show, because all these people are clearly. Okay. So I have. Let me show you. 13. Okay. Did she have a child? Did she have a child? Um, 13 in the traditional tarot is death, but in this it's death or the devil or whatever, however you want to take it. She went looking for something. And she wandered off. She definitely was a family person, a family-oriented person, even though she may have been bipolar or had whatever mental issues, depression or whatever she had, because that's another thing that's popping up, okay? Her intellect was highly affected. So very intelligent, very, people who have high levels of IQ, okay, let me rephrase that. Bipolar diseases and mental illnesses and mental diseases, illnesses doesn't just affect people who have lower IQ. It can affect people who have higher IQ. It can affect people with a normal range of IQ, right? So with her, I feel like her IQ was definitely affected. I don't know whether she, I'm actually going to go out and say, because I have the world card and the world is showing me the womb over here. I feel like she was born with mental issues. When she popped out, when she came into the world, popped out is probably not a respectful way of saying it, so I apologize for that. When she came into this world, when she took life and came into this universe, she was born with some mental issues, right? I think they kind of knew during the pregnancy, or they kind of knew after she was born, her cognitive skills, her abilities, something was affected, and I think the family kind of knew, her parents definitely knew. And I feel like from that age she's had these issues, but she has tried her very best to kind of overcome that. And she had these moments of normalcy and these moments of not normal type of things. I definitely feel that, I very strongly feel she had a child, but I also want to ask, was she pregnant, or had she just lost a pregnancy? There's a living child and there's a deceased, not even a child, a deceased soul, or a fetus, so a lost pregnancy, okay? I also feel like she must have gone out, she must have been, something got her, y'all, something kind of annoyed her, and she went for a walk and she just walked off. I also feel like, okay, with the Emperor card, it's the Aries card, right? And Aries is ruled by Mars, right? She also wanted to be independent. I feel like she was reaching out to somebody to help her to get her independence, or to be a little bit more independent. I feel like, okay, I'm going to pull another couple more cards, and I'm telling you, if the Chariot card pops up, or the Wheel, then Judgment, the Fool, and oh my goodness, let me show you what popped out. Let me just show you what popped out, y'all. Look. No kidding. No kidding. What did I say? If the chariot card pops out of the wheel or fortune or wheel pops out, I'm like, and you saw me shuffle. Okay, so this tells me that she might have just gone off. See, with this, I feel like she went off looking for something, and this was like, taking a walk, going off into the unknown. So she definitely did something, and she just walked off. She went, I don't know what it was that she was trying to accomplish, but she walked off, and she has a Mars energy. Oh, that's my slippers. I just smacked it down. The Mars energy. Oh my God, y'all. Okay. I'm going to show you something, and sorry if it's a little yucky or whatever. It's not that yucky. Okay. So you see this? Yeah, I'm showing you my pair of slippers, and I promise I'm not sponsored by anybody. What brand is this? Cloud Steppers. Look at that. My son bought me these pair of slippers or flip-flops or whatever. It does have a little bit of heel, but oh my God, it is the most comfortable. When I saw it, he's like, Mom, take off your flip-flops and don't use that, wear this. I said, I don't want to wear heels around the house. I mean, it's not that bad, right? The heels. Look, it's not that bad. And he said, Mom, just wear this. And I was like, no, I don't want. I'm happy with my flip-flops. But then I wasn't. I was complaining. It is the most comfortable pair of flip-flops I've ever used. I use it only inside the house, right? I don't go out anywhere with it. Y'all, I'm not sponsored, but I'm saying it's so comfortable. I don't know why I'm talking about shoes. There is something here. Another thing I want to say, what is the name of that Japanese chain store that they've launched all over, I think, Texas? I think it's their equivalent, their competition to a Dollar General or Dollar Store or Dollar Tree. I forget the name. I think it starts with D. I went and bought a pair of flip-flops, y'all. I paid $1.10 for it. I was like, who cares, right? Flip-flops, I'll use it. If I'm not happy, I'll throw it. And then, of course, it's not just throw rubber is not eco-friendly. But if I'm not happy about it, doesn't matter. I'll use it in the backyard or front yard and I'll be fine. Oh, the most horrible pair. Anyhow, the best flip-flops are from Gap. And when Gap goes on a sale, go buy them because they sell, I think, for $2 or $3 or whatever. And every year we go to Key West during the summertime for a couple of weeks. And invariably they have a sale then, and that's when I pick up. I pick up a couple, 2-3 pairs, and it lasts me like a couple, 2-3 years. But okay, why I'm talking about flip-flops, I don't know. Maybe it's actually Christina, and she's just wearing flip-flops and she walked out. Okay, and one more time, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, just so you know. And she just walked out. Maybe that's why that thing is like, it's so weird. Yeah. Okay. Anywho, back. Okay. Now, another thing I'm going to say with the Judgment card, right? And Mars and Judgment, right? Okay. Squirrel, right? I keep going off on these tangents. With the Mars and Judgment, I feel like something affected her. She wanted to find her independence. She felt she was not independent enough. She was struggling to find her footing, her own stability, her own center space, her own, like almost wanting to find a spot to grow roots. You know what I mean? But then again, with that Mars energy, it affects your heightened Mars. Sometimes with all that high energy, if you're not capable of handling the energy of Mars, it does affect it increases your anger, your blood pressure, your all that stuff, right? And you tend to kind of get a little agitated. And then with that, she has the Judgment card. So I feel like she was wanting to find some resolution, or wanting to find judgment, or wanting to find solace or comfort or something, and be able to get her independence. And also her brains, she was very, her mindset or her mental state at that time was very like all jumbled up, and she's like, I see that frantic energy, that frantic energy, and then she's like, there's an element of innocence in her too. There's an element of innocence. And she decided to just walk, and she's like, I'm just going to take a walk. I'm going to walk. But here's the thing, with the walk here, right, with the walk with the food cart, taking a giant leap of faith, literally going off into the unknown, okay, then you have to be careful, right? It's all fine and dandy to say, I am going to take a giant leap of faith, and I'm going to jump off the cliff, and I don't care what's on the other side, and I'm just going to go for it. It's fine. Right, there are occasions in life where we have to take that giant leap of faith, not really knowing what's on the other side, right? And sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. There's always an element of risk, right? Everything in life, every decision you make, you have to be responsible for your actions, and also there is an element of you face the repercussions, right, of your actions. Sometimes they pay off really well, sometimes not at all, and sometimes kind of sort of pay off. So, wait, am I losing? Yeah. So I feel like she just walked off, and then you have the Chariot card. What does this tell me? I have a very, 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 very strong feeling that when she walked off, I don't think she lived in a proper city kind of an environment. I won't even say the suburbs, I'm not going to say the boonies, but it's more like, not so many, not really the countryside, but from absolutely the city center. There are a lot of cities and states around the country where the city center is right there, and you literally drive 3 to 4 miles away, and it almost looks like countryside where the properties are not necessarily fenced. It's like just acreage, like half an acre, quarter acre, and you have these homes in between, and your neighbor is not literally living on top of you type of thing, right? So I feel that was an environment, and when she left, I definitely feel she hitched a ride. She hitched a ride, or somebody picked her up. And the Chariot is a Cancer card. So let's take a look. How does Cancer play into this? The Chariot is a Cancer card. She did not pay attention. I think she hitched a ride. I think she was hitching for a ride. And I can almost guarantee say that it's not like the moment you hitch a ride, somebody's going to stop, right? I mean, we all know, right? She hitched a ride, and whoever wanted to, like, there were a couple of people who went by and they didn't stop, and finally somebody stopped and picked her up. That was her undoing. That was her undoing. It's not, I can't even say it's not like the good old days when, we could hitch rides and we were fine. I never hitched a ride in my life. Never. Oh, heck no, never. First and foremost, it's like the kind of family I was raised in, I was brought up, my parents, it was like, why do you need to hitch a ride? Like, it never even crossed my mind as a child, forget about as a child hitching. I mean, if my parents ever knew I tried to hitch a ride, let me tell you, I wouldn't be sitting on my butt cheeks for the next 3 months, because I would have been like spanked to kingdom come and back. I mean, I would have got a whooping. It's like, we don't do stuff like that. First and foremost, we didn't give you permission to leave the house and go outside. So what made you think you could run off outside and hitch a ride on top of that, right? That was the way we were raised. So, of course, parenting is different now than what it used to be 10 years ago, what it used to be 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I just know that what worked for me, worked for me. I turned out fine, thank you, right? Of course, there was a phase in my life where I absolutely hated my parents, and I thought they were too strict, and I had no freedom, and let me just turn 18, and I will show you, and I can, as an adult, I can go do whatever I want, and all that. Yeah, I did say that to my parents, I did. I'm just waiting to turn 18, and I'm going to take you to court. My father just looked at me, he laughed, and he walked off, and my mom slapped one tight slap on my cheek. She's like, why do you want to wait till 18? Go now. I'll never forget that. Oh my God. I'll never forget it. She's like, why? Why do you want to wait till 18? We are fine with it. My dad, I still remember, he just laughed and he walked off, and I think that hurt me, quite a bit, because I was like, oh, now I'm stupid, I feel stupid. But you're still trying to put on that bravado and, that face of, oh, I know what I'm doing. And she's like, no need to wait till you're 18. Go now. Pack your bags and get lost. Oh my God. Shoot. Anyhow, so I feel like she hitched a ride. She wanted to go somewhere. And I feel like somebody, that's how the whole thing started. And that was not a good individual who okay. So what I'm getting is, she hitched a ride, she went, they dropped her off somewhere, wherever, and somebody else picked her up. So that's what I meant when I said that started the whole trajectory. So I don't think the person who first gave her a ride is responsible for her demise or whatever. Innocently enough, they gave her a ride, they went and dropped her off somewhere, and from there somebody else picked her up and something else happened there. Did they pick her up and leave, or did they? She was loitering around over there for a little bit, loitering about for a little bit. And she was asking people for help and nobody assisted her. And then somebody stepped forth and said, okay, fine, I'll help you. And that's what that individual who actually said, okay, fine, what do you want? Come with me type of thing. And she just blindly went, and that's the individual who was responsible for her death. It's not one person, it's 3 people. There are 2 males and 1 female. Okay, mark my words. Where are my cards? 2 males and 1 female. Hang on. Oh, see, the baby card popped out. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but she definitely has a baby. I have a feeling she was also pregnant and she probably didn't even know about it, or there's a chance that she lost her pregnancy. All of them popped out because, I was holding the cards in the reversal, so I'm going to turn them all right. That happens. So sometimes, when I hold the whole pack in the reverse, they're all going to pop out in the reverse, so I set them right. But there are times when selective cards, for whatever reason during the course of shuffling, pop out reverse, I take it as a reversal. But as of late, the past couple of readings, I think I decided, in my other decks, I decided to do reversals. I don't know, whatever I'm pushed to do. So let me show you what I got. I got the cemetery, I got wish granted, full cup, I got stone walls and obstacles, I got the devil card, coming rewards, money, opportunity, okay, arguments, shouting, sharp talk, table, and bench. Okay, I'm just going to show you the cards because these are my own little interpretations. Okay. And yes, I blended 2 decks. For the longest time, like this deck, right, I had a blue and a red deck and I had written my own messages. And one deck had a particular concept that I had written for each card. You know what I mean? Particular school of thought I had used for this particular deck, and for the other a different school of thought. And one day I was doing a reading and then I got a clear message, blend the decks, blend the decks, blend the decks. So I blended both the decks, and now both those different schools of thought I'm using it as one deck. So it's interesting. I mean, I just kept getting blend the deck and I was like, oh, okay, and it's working out good, so we'll take it. So she's definitely demised, cemetery, ruined, and church. As far as a wish granted and full cup, we'll figure out what that is. See, she's got 2 3s. And stone walls and obstacles, then we have the devil. Okay, so I feel like, remember I said 3 people, before I even got these cards out, I said 3 people are involved, 2 men and a lady. Look, confirmation 3s. Okay, we have the devil card, of course we know that's a Capricornian energy, and then we have coming rewards, money, opportunity. Okay, I feel like when she was that second person who said, okay, I'll help you, they abducted her, from there abducted her, and definitely tried to indoctrinate her into a specific trade, aka human trafficking. And she fought and she said, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I want to go home. And it's so weird. It's so freaking weird. She's an adult, right? She's an adult, definitely above the age of 21, I think, right? Or above the age of 18, whatever the age limit is for being an adult in Missouri. I don't even know how old she was. A fairly young lady. I don't think she would have been more than 25. I don't see her as being much older than 25. It's so funny because all of a sudden I see her, like her personality has changed and she's suddenly behaving like a small child and crying, I want to go home, I want my mommy and stuff, which leads me to also believe, and again it kind of reiterates the fact that I think she might have been bipolar. I had some issues with mental, the wiring in the brain where I wouldn't call it split personality, but I feel like she had some shortcomings in her mental development, okay? That's what I'm saying. And they were like definitely trying to have her work the street. They were definitely streets paved with gold. Yeah, money, yeah. No. We'll give you money, you can make money, you wanted independence, you want to be able to stand on your feet, whatever, this will get you to that point, you'll be able to work, you'll be able to, make your own money, and it's the streets paved with gold, and then there's a lot of shouting and argument, and then there's a lot of shop talk. She was at a table and a bench. It was almost like a park-like setting. Okay, I'm going to say this, almost like a park-like setting. I'm also getting that it's almost like a truck stop type of a situation. Where on the highways you have those, not so much a truck stop, it could be a truck stop, or on the highways you have those rest stops, right? You have those bathrooms that you don't ever want to use. And then you have those benches and those little canopies where you can pull off the freeway and rest there and have your little whatever and go fill up your water bottle. And I know these days they have a little area for dogs and all that stuff, which is kind of cool. I see this conversation happening at one of those places where there's a table and bench. It's not like a proper table and chairs, it's like a picnic table and picnic bench outside. And I'm seeing it happen around anywhere between 11:30, 12, all the way up until 3 o'clock. That window I'm seeing, that window of light, 11:30, 12 to 3 o'clock, it happened during that time of day. If anybody looks at, okay girl, alright, okay. Okay, so if anybody were to go back, and I don't know where this is, okay, I just know she went missing from Missouri. I don't know which city, which state, which county, I have no idea. But wherever that vicinity is, if I'm not doing cartography, so I can't tell, I don't have a birth date and time of birth and place of birth and all that, I don't have. And also when the time, date and place that she was first reported as missing or noticed as missing, that would help in the cartography, okay? But anyhow, wherever this place is, this picnic table or whatever, it's like a public place, and I'm telling you, if they go back and research, people go driving on the freeway, they definitely, if they had turned and looked, they would have thought that there was a family over there that was having a big fight and an argument, because now those 2 men and that one lady, you throw in one more lady, which is Christina, so 2 men and 2 women, it would have appeared like one couple is having an argument and the other couple is just sitting and watching type of thing, because I can see her like crying and getting up and walking away and coming back, because she knows, I don't know how to explain it, y'all. even though she's crying at one time and she's saying, I want to go home, I want my mommy, I want my mommy, the next minute she's like a grown up and she's like, I have a child at home. Yeah, okay, I'll consider your offer of working the streets, but now I want to go back home. There's a quick change in her thought process, in her demeanor, in her speech. She's vacillating between this and that. And you can tell, that one moment of clarity and she's like, okay, this is not a good situation to be in. I'm just going to play along with them and then I want out of here and then I'll figure it out. And then that moment of clarity is followed by another moment of clarity where she goes, oh heck, how do I get home? How do I get home? And then she makes a dash to go back to the freeway to hitch a hike. Okay, y'all, somebody knows of this incident. Can you even see? Of course, not that I have the greatest skin, but I don't know, y'all. Oh, somebody has seen this because she runs off. Okay, let me explain. Freeway, you know how you go off like this and then here's the rest stop and then you come back and join and you go up. She's trying to hitch a ride and somebody actually is like almost hits the brakes and they stop, they slow down and they go forward, they wind down in the window and they go, and it's on the right hand side, okay? Right hand side, because I see the driver sitting on the left and he winds down this window and he says, are you okay, miss? And then one of the guys who's a slightly younger guy, he comes forth and he goes, no, we're just having a bad day, couples issues. And she's like crying and she doesn't, one part of her brain understands what he's saying, the other part of her brain she somehow sinks into that, like she's somehow accepting of that situation. I don't know, it's so weird. And then he says, okay, well, you kids figure it out, and he drives off. That was her opportunity to actually, oh my goodness gracious me, why, Christina? I am so sad. I am so sad because I feel like she would have escaped. I mean, if it's just I'm so sorry, y'all, but it's really, really sad. I feel so sad for her. She had an opportunity to escape from this situation. She did. Okay. She had an opportunity to escape from this situation. She did. Poor thing. I mean, you know what I feel? I feel if she didn't have those mental issues, if she didn't have that depression or whatever it is that she had going on with her, she would have had a lot more clarity in her thought. And the moment he stopped, she would have been like, she would have dove through the window, because he opened the window. And it is a sedan. It's not a truck. It's not like a SUV truck or a pickup truck or a big semi truck. It's a vehicle, a regular sedan. She would have dove through the window and she would have said help, and they could have gone off. Because of her mental state, she couldn't do that. Oh my God, this is just way. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I don't know why I'm so overwhelmed right now. You guys have seen me do so many readings. There are moments when I feel, that intense energy, and I am not the kind of a person who just cries on TV or cries on my video channels, anything like that. I am fairly good at being able to manage those intense emotions that I get when I do readings. I don't know what's going on with this child. I don't know. I'm baffled. Okay, y'all, Christina Whittaker would have survived if only she had that if only she had that clarity in thought. She would have made a dash for it and she would have taken off, and these guys would have been caught. So, moving on. Moving on. Two birds exchanging of funds, so they would have traded her. And then I have civil trial, wisdom with money, whatever, forget it, bank. So one of these individuals is the kingpin of the threesome, right? The three people. Oh my goodness. You know how they got her, y'all? You know how they got her? One of these two guys is into martial arts. And the first shot he gave her, until then she was not physically harmed. When she hitched a ride at the stop, by the freeway, and somebody actually stopped, and he was like, oh, couples fighting, whatever, and they went back, and he's like, there's my older brother and his wife, and we're just trying to resolve some things, whatever. She just had a baby, she's a bit depressed and whatever, and they go back. That's when the conversation happened where they were like, no, this is getting out of control, we better control it right now, or we better be done with her. So they moved from there, and in their vehicle, now I'm not seeing what kind of a vehicle they have, It's an old pickup truck, white color. It's a smaller one, not like the 250s or 350s or whatever. It's like that 150. It's a smaller pickup truck. It's an old school truck, probably from the 90s, and they all sat in the front. And when they picked her up, she was squished. See, in that area also, even if you were 3-4 people driving in the front seat and you went, the cops wouldn't do anything because it's a smaller community. It's almost like a farming community, right? Like fields and acres of agricultural land. So what I am seeing is one of them who is into martial arts. Now I'm not saying he's a black belt or blue belt or green belt. I don't know how this belt system works, okay? He punched her here in the solar plexus. Cause intense pain. I'm feeling so much, it's like knocking the breath out of me. It's like you're conscious and then you can't breathe, and then she passed out. And then when she passed out, they drug her somewhere, and that's when they actually kind of eliminated her from this universe. Oh my goodness, Christina, why are you making me so emotional? She loved her family. She would not have left her family under normal circumstances and run off. Something transpired. I'm not seeing what that is. They're not going to find her, y'all. I don't think they'll find her. I'll be really surprised if they find her and if the case gets closed. I see a kind of an agricultural area, farming, lots of farming. Like, I don't know if it's wheat or paddy or rice or sugarcane, I don't know what kind of thing is, but I see like tall, 3-4 feet tall, almost yellowed tall grass. But I wish I had pictures to show you, but seems like it isn't like just grass, but something to do with agriculture. You know how some crops, they kind of get a little yellowish or whatever. I don't know, y'all. I'm not into agriculture and that stuff, so I can't really tell you. Okay, this was reverse. I'm going to take it reverse, as is ace. So what do I see? Street, yeah. So when they made her the offer and said, you know, you can work and you'll have success and streets of gold, and you know, you can make right decisions then, and once you earn that money and that you have the success, you'll have that independence that you want, and you'll be able to make your own decisions and all that stuff. Big fat lie, okay? And then we have solitude and cave, which was reversed. That continues putting thoughts in her head that, you know, you won't feel so alone anymore, you know, you'll be successful, you won't feel isolated, because I think she felt isolated for some reason, whatever. You know, they were trying to influence her, right? They actually would have tried to indoctrinate her, draw her into the human trafficking trade if she had not rebelled or done all those crazy things. Now there's another reason why they decided to get rid of her, is because they realized that she was not a very stable person, okay? Mentally she was not very stable, and they were afraid that they have been successful in the past in hiring people or recruiting people, okay? So they were afraid that because of her instability or lack of stability, that she might do something stupid, and one day when she's on the street, she'll just walk into a cop station or a precinct or whatever, police station, and she'll rat them out. So they couldn't take that risk. That was another reason why they decided that, heck, if we cannot pull her in, and even then it's a bit iffy with her, we best get rid of her. That's the solar plexus, my God. I hear one of them saying, she's not bad looking, she's okay, I can do her. I'm sorry, y'all, okay, this is an adult channel, and I'm not trying to say these things to be mean or disrespectful to anybody, dead or alive, but I can hear one of those idiots, ding dong, ding along, saying, oh, she's not bad looking, she's alright, I could do her. I can clearly hear him say that. One of them has reddish hair. I am unable to see the woman and the other guy. One of them has reddish hair. Oh God. Okay. So they definitely try to kind of tell her that, you know, if you work, you'll be able to have your own house, you'll be able to have your own little cottage, you'll have a new life. So they tried quite a bit to kind of, you know, pull her in, but because of her mental instability, they must have realized that she's not very stable and she could rat them out. They kind of, okay. Oh, it bothers me. It bothers me so much. She could have clearly gotten away. She could have gotten away. Darn it. I don't know if it was her emotions that I was sensing, because it was like, just overtook y'all. Just completely overtook me. Okay, pretty much. They're not going to find her, y'all. I'd be hard pressed to believe that this case will ever get resolved, or if Christina will be found. Okay. I'm sticking to my story, y'all. Nothing's changed. There was definitely an exchange of words. There was definitely an interaction. There was also an exchange of words between the three of them, the three principal figures. There was definitely, they were talking between themselves also, like, we have to make a decision. We can't let this go, with the Five of Wands. Yeah, it's rivalry, obstacles, challenges, and this, that, and the other. They were definitely kind of, arguing with each other and kind of figuring out that this could be a challenging individual if we bring her into the team. She would definitely she would send or go or leak out information. That card to me is like sending information to somebody. It's a Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, right? And the Nine of Pentacles is, self-sufficiency, luxury, yada, yada, yada. But they felt that even if they brought her in and even if she worked for them at some point in time, they were afraid that she's going to sneak on them and go to the cops and they would be busted. They were not willing to take that chance. The female, okay, the number 3, which is the Empress and ruled by Venus, she is, I wouldn't call her the kingpin, but I would say that she is one of the principal characters, and this is bigger than these 3 people. This is bigger than these 3 people because she reports to somebody else. It's almost like this is her territory. This woman is living a open life as in society. People know of her. Okay, really, I am busy. Stop. People know of her in society, and but they don't necessarily know what her true identity is, in the sense that they know her. Let me rephrase that. They know her. She has 2 careers. One is like, normal career, normal house, normal whatever, but she also works in the human trafficking industry. She came up in that industry. She was also trafficked, but she had an opportunity to get out of it and she chose not to because of the amount of money she was making. She's like, I don't care, as long as I make all this money, I'm okay with it. And that's how she rose up the ranks, and she ended up becoming the second in command rather to somebody else. Okay, I mean, this is this woman, y'all. This is this woman. Okay, and then there was a decision made. If we let her go now, can we afford to let her go, or do we have to be done with her? Like 2 of Swords, right? 2 of Swords is compromise or make a decision. Time to compromise or make a decision. And then guess what they did? They decided to make a decision, and their decision was, let's get rid of her. We can't chance this. They were also worried about the fact that that other guy had seen them. But here's the thing. The guy who had seen them, who wound down his window, he never was able to put the 2 together simply because he doesn't belong to that area. He was somebody who was traveling through. How many times these things have happened and we wouldn't have even realized what was going on, right? Because we wouldn't have. I'm not blaming that man by any way, shape, or form. Like, how would you know, right? It's an easily buyable story, right? It's a very possible story. There's a slightly older couple sitting there. They're all white people. The 2 guys and this girl, they're all Caucasians, and so is Christina. They're all sitting there, and this slightly younger looking couple are like, having an argument, and then he says, no, my older brother and my sister-in-law are sitting there, we're trying to resolve a family, something, or whatever, or she had a baby and she's a little bit, heightened emotions. It's a very believable story, isn't it? Very believable. So we wouldn't think too much about it, right? And we just drive off. So I'm not blaming that man for anything. It's just that it's very unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. So the decision was taken to kind of, eliminate her, and it was definitely in the night. Okay? It was definitely in the night. It was definitely a full moon night. I am sticking to it. It is a full moon night. The decision, they kept her in captivity, right? The decision was made when it was a new moon or close, a couple of days after the new moon. They kept her in captivity, and then on a full moon night is when they eliminated her. And then you have the 2, right? The 2 is the High Priestess, which is ruled by the moon, right? Under the quietness of the moon, like under the quiet stillness of the night. Under the stillness of the night is when the decision, because this was like this, under the stillness of the night, this one says, okay, go ahead, get rid of her. this one guy who is responsible for her demise, he has a tattoo, and it is a tattoo of a bat. He looks very staid, he looks like he's very stable, staid, normal kind of guy. He's got reddish hair, and he has a tattoo of a bat. No, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that. What do you want me to use? Okay, fine, fine. Reddish hair, y'all. I think that's where the Leonine energy comes in. One of them had reddish hair. Nice hair. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. What is this, y'all? Isn't that Jupiter? Wait, how am I holding it? Wait, dang, okay. Okay, there, that's Jupiter. Guess who popped out? Jupiter. I'm feeling nausea. I think it's that thing to the solar plexus. Ooh. Actually, this way. Okay, 24 and 6 is 30, 33, 43, 53, 59, 69, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 7 plus 7 is 14, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5 to me is, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of argument between the three of them as to how to proceed with this, okay? And they took a chance and they did her, man, they did her big time. So I am going to go out on a limb and say the female involved in this group, not Christina, the other woman, is probably a Gemini, and I am going to go ahead and say one of the fellows is a Virgo. I am also going to say that water was used to cleanse the evidence big time. So wash down their truck. They didn't do it immediately. They did not do it immediately. They went about it like very casually. Oh, every Friday I go get my truck washed or my car washed. Every Saturday I go get my truck washed. So they kept that routine so as not to raise any red flags. Like if your local car wash, okay, camera, seriously, if your local car wash, again it's all cloudy, it's gonna rain, I love it. If the car wash knows, you know, we have our own kind of little neighborhood car washes that we go to regularly, and you know, they kind of know you, hello Mrs. So-and-so, how are you today, type of thing. Like people know, right? Communities, right? And if you're a regular, and if you went there every Friday or Saturday morning, and then all of a sudden you show up on a Wednesday or a Thursday, they'll be like, oh, we weren't expecting to see you until Friday or Saturday, like what happened, like what are you going to say? If you say, no, we went out into the wilderness and my vehicle is a bit dirty, guaranteed, like, you know, if it is whoever, I mean, think about it, normal scenarios, you're going to peep out and say, oh, but they may not say it, but they say, oh, your vehicle looks kind of clean. So even if you went out into the woods and the wilderness and did like that dirt biking type of a thing, it would be all splattered with dirt. It isn't. I wonder, they'll be like, I wonder what he was trying to wash off. They may not, that may not necessarily raise red flags, but you know, the little seed of doubt, that microscopic little grain of doubt would have been sown into their heads, right? But anyhow, so they did use water. They used fire, water and earth. Oh, all the elements are here. The fire, the water, the earth and air. Interesting. So they used a lot of water to get rid of the evidence. And I'm going to say that she was definitely interred. I'm going to go so far as to say, oh, okay, no. Oh my goodness, people, I don't want to say this. I see a barrel, okay? A barrel of liquid. I don't know what liquid, I'm thinking it's water. I don't know. Because the water and it's spinning shows me a barrel, a container. She was put in that and left there for a while, and then they dug up the dirt and put her in the dirt. So I don't know whether that was, oh my God, Christina, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Oh my God, this is getting a bit much for me, y'all. I am seeing things here that, none of us should have to see it. It's just a little much to be able to see it, but I can't even comprehend what they must have gone. I only hope to God that she was dead when they did her the way they did her. I truly hope. Okay, I'm going to say it, y'all. I'm going to say it. I'm going to throw it out there in the interweb. This is what I'm seeing, okay? For all you people who say it's TMI or whatever, one more time. I don't filter, I just say it. I can see her in a drum, a barrel, a drum. Same difference, right? Of liquid. Disintegrating. They put her in there, right? And then left it after a few days. Left it. And then the decision was made that, it could smell or leak. Let's dig up some dirt. And they did it in a very normal way. Like, what I'm going to say is these people live in an area which is kind of woodsy, which is kind of not the city limits, but kind of a little away from the city, where people wouldn't question all this. You have some old barn equipment, a whole couple of trucks and couple of thingies and a shed and some barrels and this and that, and it wouldn't raise any red flags with your neighbors or whatever, because your neighbors are not living on top of you, and with all the bramble and all that stuff growing, sometimes you really can't see clearly through. They see a drum over there, and the drum's been sitting there for a gazillion years, it hasn't moved and nobody cares. It's like, whatever. But they utilized all that stuff. They utilized what was already there very smartly, very, very smart. That lady, she is super, super smart. And in a very, very smart way, they kind of slowly did things. They didn't hurry. They were so confident, that they're not going to get caught, because usually, when these perpetrators do all these things, it's like immediately, boom, 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 they want to get rid of the evidence. These guys were like very calm, very collected, very cool, and they utilized that drum or that barrel. They put it in there. They left it over there for where it was. They didn't move it. They didn't do nothing. And then after a few days, they pretended like they were cleaning their yard and clearing out all the trash and throwing away all the rubble and all the rusty stuff and all that stuff. And they decided to move this. And simultaneously, somebody else was digging up the earth to plant some trees or to do anything. They did it so well. These guys are freaking brilliant. Oh my goodness, they are brilliant. They did it so well organized. Communication between them was so good, and then they finally, oh hey Joe, what are you doing? Oh no, I decided to dig a French drain because it's raining and the water is going this way and it's flooding my yard. Oh, okay, I don't know. It's probably going to take me a couple of days to do it or whatever. I got to go to work and figure it out. Let me know if you need some help, Joe. Yeah, sure. No, I got it. My brother's here. He's visiting. He's going to help me. That kind of a scenario. They were so smooth, so smart, and they did it slowly without having any reason to raise red flags, because like I said, the French drain for the rain, they probably had flooding, right? I mean, then the neighbor is not going to think, oh, that's hard. Why would you want to drink a French drain, and there's no flooding when it rains? I'm your neighbor. I would know if your yard is flooding. I can see it from the street or from my yard. There's never been any flooding. We've been living here for 7-8 years. How come now all of a sudden flooding? It would raise red flags. So they were like, they utilized the environment of their property or their home they lived in, and they incorporated this very well, y'all. These guys are freaking brilliant. I greatly, greatly, greatly doubt this case is going to be resolved. Somebody correct me. If it is already resolved, I would be super, super duper duper surprised. I doubt if this case is going to get resolved. I doubt it. Very well done. Very well done. Very well done. The only other question I have is, are they still on the property or have they moved on? And that is key to this. That is key to this. And I'm going to ask a yes or no question, okay? When you look at these two guys, you think they're good old wholesome country folk, And I'm not saying that to kind of say, oh, city folks are anyway better than country. No. Please do not misunderstand me. Like, we all know people who grow up in the country. Oh, okay, let me rephrase that. They're going to be douchebags in every segment of society, in every race, in every color, in every religion, in every country, in every, right? They're always going to be douchebags, right? We know that. So I'm not saying this to be in a derogatory word or way to country folks. There are a lot of country folks, as we all know, who really live a good life in the sense that they grew up with good values, they work hard, they, wholesome people, right? These two guys appear to be like that, but they are not. So people will never even think, it's like, I wouldn't have thunk it, like you would never ever in your wildest imagination believe that these two guys are capable of this. And yes, they are two related to each other. It's so weird. One of them is got red hair. I don't want to go so far as to say a ginger, but one of them is red hair. Okay. Oh, really? Stop. Okay. I had set an alarm because there's something I needed to do, and I was like, I better not forget it. Please show me if the perpetrators are still on their own property. Right off the bat. Yes, right off the bat. 2 jacks, a queen, and a king. First in command, second in command. 2 doofuses. Woo. Okay. Wow. Come on, baby, come here. Okay. I'm going to go so far as to say the first in command is wanting to distance himself from this situation. I'm going to go so far. He's like upset. He doesn't want to have anything to. Let's not talk about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know anything about it. You resolve it. So the first answer is yes, they still are on their own property. As always, I ask these questions 3 times, okay? Yes. 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 Hang on. Yeah, interesting. Hang on 1 second. I am going to go so far as to say the first in command, he didn't want to have anything to do with this. He was wanting to distance himself, and I am going to go so far as to say the first in command has given charge over to somebody else, either because the first in command is too ill and dead or going to die, and handed over the whole, it's almost like running a corporation, handed over the presidentship to somebody else. I'm going to go so far as to say that. Then definitely the two, so the two males are still working together, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the two males are still working together. The people who are directly involved with her are 3 individuals, 1 female and 2 males. Okay, and they definitely had an argument as to what do we do? Do we incorporate her into our trade, or should we take care of her and get rid of her, because there's no guaranteeing that she's going to toe the line, you know. Okay. Okay. So I didn't get an ace this time, but 2 out of 3 I would say is a yes. They're still on their property, and I mean, last time I got all these repetitions. Remember, you guys sent me so many comments about 222 and the meaning of that and this, which I really appreciate. Yes, I do know what it stands for, but it's like, sometimes it's like, why are they popping out so often? See, I have the 2 twos again, okay, 2 threes, okay, 2 tens. Okay, and 2 sevens. And then I have the king, queen, and jack. 3 people involved, absolutely. I'd be really hard pressed to believe that this case has been resolved. I would really be surprised if they find her. Sorry, y'all. I'd be really surprised if they find her. I'll be really surprised. So I'm going to stop at that, because I'm kind of getting a little bit, y'all, I'm telling you, yeah, some cases are difficult, some cases are like, the energies, right? Like I say time and time again, all those people who do spirit work and all those people who do energy readings and all that, y'all know what I'm talking about. Very rarely, I am for the most part able to control my emotions and kind of, not get teary-eyed, but dang. Christina Whittaker. Okay, thank you so much for watching me. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to do these readings. I appreciate the person who suggested, or rather was curious or wanted to know if I did this reading. This is for you. I should have written down the names, but of course I didn't. Like, me bad, it's my bad, right? But thank you again, and it sounds so weird to say I hope you enjoyed the reading. Like, really, what's there to enjoy a reading or a video where we're talking about a case like this? It's really, so I can't even say I hope you enjoyed the reading. I suppose that doesn't sound right, but I hope you'll watch it, and if there's something to be taken away from this, I think that's the more appropriate thing to say. So I again appreciate each and every one of you. Take care, stay safe, and for anybody who's going through mental issues or bipolar or depression, there's always gazillion helplines, y'all, where you're at your city or state, and it's free. The government has got so much set up to be able to help you out. Please reach out. Please reach out. Know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Reach out to anybody, y'all. Just walk into the nearest police station, walk into the nearest fire department and say, look, I don't know who to reach out to, I need help. Trust me, they will guide you. They will immediately pick up the phone and get you to whoever you need to. I mean, don't walk into a stranger's house and say, I have mental issues and depression, I need help. You never know who that neighbor is, right? I mean, could be Jack the Ripper or could be a saint. I mean, we don't know, right? I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But if you need help, there's always somebody out there. Reach out. Please know you're not alone. You are not alone. There are a gazillion people in this universe who have anxiety, depression, mental issues, bipolar, this, that, and the other, and who choose not to acknowledge it because they feel that there's some kind of a stigma or a shame attached to it, and they're like, if it were to come out that I have depression or anxiety or bipolar, like people are going to look at me weird. And truth be told, people do look a little bit weird because people don't understand. Not everybody understands what this is. Not everybody understands these issues, right? Depression, etc., etc. Not everybody understands because there's a lack of knowledge. Yes, the government is doing a lot, but we don't necessarily see the signs. Even if we see the signs, we don't necessarily interpret them the correct way, probably because we ourselves are not aware of it. And another thing is that each one of us in this day and age, right, we are so wrapped up in our own little world and stuff, and it's a sad thing. And that's what I mean when I say for every 10 steps mankind takes in progress, we kind of regress a few steps. Because as much as there is science and knowledge and medicine and all that, people are so wrapped up in their own little worlds that they're like, I don't want to deal with that. I have enough of my own going on in my life. And how, is it wrong? Is it bad? Is it okay? I mean, would you call that being selfish? Would you call that being an irresponsible citizen? Like how? Because we don't know what these individuals are going through in their lives to say, look, I can't deal with that, right? I don't want to deal with that. I'm worried about paying my rent or, things like that. Or maybe somebody passed, maybe I was diagnosed with something. And, you don't know. So it's a very, very unfortunate thing. There's no right or wrong. You can't really blame anybody. How do you blame anybody? Who do you blame and what do you blame them for, right? So the only thing we can say is if anybody reaches out to you and say, look, I need help, please, even though you can't personally, individually help them, at least direct them in the right way, right? At least redirect them to whoever, or say, hey, you know what, this is a telephone number, or wait a second, let me make that call for you. Please, please, please take that 60 seconds out of your life, as much as you may be going through yourself, right? Take that 60 seconds out of your life, that 1 minute, that 2 minutes, and make that phone call for that person, because that could save a life. And you know what? You do that good deed, you are building good karma for yourself. Know and do it because from a genuine place, right? Know very well. Think about just one thing. If I were in that situation, how would I feel, right? I know I can sit here and preach all day and people will be saying, who the heck does she think she is there, sitting there and preaching to all of us? Yeah, I agree. Like, who the heck am I to preach? But I'm not saying this to preach. I'm saying let's be aware of the people around us. Let's be aware of what's going on around us. It's difficult for the most part, particularly with the pandemic that hit us, the universe, regardless of what age, what sex, what country, what religion, whatever demographic, we've all been affected by it. So it's very, very difficult for us also to put aside ourselves and focus on somebody else, right? It is difficult. Let's face it, it is. But if we can help just one individual overcome that, or just take that 60 seconds and connect them, make that phone, listen, wait, I will make that phone call for you. Here you go. Like how much of a difference that would make, right? So I have done that. Simply because I always say, if I were in that situation, how would I feel, right? How would I feel? I'd be devastated because I'm asking you for some help. Can you not please help me? Like I would crumble, right? So we gotta think outside the box. It's a very lofty idea. It's a very lofty thought process, a way of thinking, a way of life. I get it. And all of us as human beings, we have those moments that, we try to live to our highest self or a best self, right? And then there are moments that we don't live up. It's not always easy to live at that level. We are human beings, right? We're not perfect creatures, right? We're not. We're just not. So we have those moments, and me too. I have those moments where I am selfish, man. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that BS right now. That's your problem. You go figure it out. I have said that, and I will say that, I'm sure, in future. But for the most part, at least say, hey, hold on. Let's hold on just a second. Let's not be quick to jump to conclusions. Okay, just hang on a second. Let's rethink that. Let's revisit that, whatever that may be. I will also say, I have grown up a lot. I have evolved spiritually and emotionally, mentally a lot over the years. I used to be less patient with a lot of people. I used to be less patient with myself. I was the kind of individual who was very, very competitive, work or whatever, and not to the extent of where I would be like, I don't care about you, I just want to accomplish this. For me, the one thing, as competitive as I was, for me, the one most important thing was in my career that I liked carrying people with me, because I felt that that was a true reflection of my character. And you can go back, and of course there are going to be a few people in all the companies that I work for, they say, oh my God, oh my, the whole world is not going to love you, and really that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter, right? I'm not everybody's cup of tea or cup of coffee or cup of whatever beverage, right? But for the most part, if you can, I can say this with confidence. I can look you in the eye and say, if you go back and contact people who I have worked with, I guarantee they will have positive things to say about me, because people have said that to my face. Thank you so much, Kirtana, for being so patient with me. Or none of the other managers or the area managers or the territory managers ever told us or shared this information with us. We didn't know. Thank you so much. Now, and for me that was very important, because one thing I've always believed in is knowledge is power. And the saddest part is a lot of human beings hold on to that knowledge because they know knowledge is power. They do not want to empower you, because if they empower you, then they drop down a couple of notches, right? Then they don't have that opportunity or have that hold on you. But the way I think is, look, there's enough for all of us, man. I mean, chill, dude. It's like, share knowledge, share information, because that person will always have gratitude for you. Always. There may be times in their life where they're on the upswing and they don't even remember all of this, and they couldn't even remember. But I guarantee you, there will be a moment or two in their lives where when they sit back and they think about it, they say, you know what, that day, if I hadn't heard that, I wouldn't have been on this trajectory. They may not remember my name, but I would pop into their heads for sure. If I hadn't heard that from that lady that day, I wouldn't have been on this. For me, that I get a lot of satisfaction from that, right? And y'all, just so you know, I have dropped the ball on so many occasions. I know as a human being, I will continue to drop the ball on many occasions. But for the most part, I try to do the best I can given the circumstances I have and given the resources I have. And sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not enough. But as long as I know and I feel that I have done my best, that's enough for me. Because like I say, right, we cannot control everything in life, right? I cannot control what the other individual says or does. But the one thing, or I cannot control the action, and this actually my ex-husband taught me. He used to say, you can't control their actions, but you can control your reactions. So I thank my ex-husband for teaching me something good. So thank you. He always used to say that, and I used to get so pissed off. I'm like, keep quiet type of thing, right? And so he would always say, why are you worried? You can't control that person. So why are you going on and on worrying about that? You control your reactions to that individual. That's enough. And then I actually started what's the word? Implementing that in my life, and I realized, heck, why was I running around like a headless chicken chasing my tail? I really cannot control anybody else's actions, but I can control my reactions, and that's all I need to worry about. So and the reason I went into this spiel is 1 minute, 1 second, 60 seconds of your life. Take that time out to nobody's saying, give them a kidney or a lung or whatever. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But, if you can just say, hey, hang on a second, let me give you this number, and go on the computer, get the number, write it down and say, call this number, or wait a second, let me make that phone call. That's all it takes, y'all. That's all it takes. The other day I was reading something about an 8-year-old child, y'all. 8 years old. 8 years old. 8, not even 10. 8, a baby, committed suicide because he was bullied in school. How in God's living world does an 8-year-old have the capability to commit suicide? Does an 8-year-old, when I was 8 years old, if you told me, if you used the word suicide in my, around me, I wouldn't have even known what it is. I wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't even be able to comprehend what it is. And even if you explained to me, I would be like, what? How does a child, let alone actually commit the act, but even understand what suicide is? Oh, that hit me, y'all. That just got me, and I was like, what in God's world is happening? Like, how does a child, 8 years old, so, there's a whole nother story, the school district and this and that and, whatever, like, let's not get into that. So I'm going to stop gabbing like I usually do. Pardon me for gabbing. Thank you so much again, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.